Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to look and do our uranium technical analysis update. I'll give you my financial opinion and we'll jump right in here. So here is the uranium futures contract, and it looks like we had a little bit of a down day. We're at 46.35. 46.35. And we're coming on back. Maybe we have a pullback in a lot of these commodities over the short term. It's possible. Obviously, we're getting a pullback here in uranium. We've gone, whenever you go vertical, you got to be careful because these things do pull back and they consolidate. That's just what markets do. Every time you see a vertical move, they consolidate after. Every time you see a vertical move, consolidate after. Every time you see a vertical move, consolidate after. So it's just the consolidation periods, and we're in a consolidation period at this time for the futures pricing. Looking at the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, we've got a nice, good hammer pattern, very much like the S&P 500 has right now as well. And that's usually a hammer pattern is bullish. It usually resolves itself upward. We still have this downward momentum, and it kind of, it did fall. Usually I see a little bit of sideways action, and then we hopefully can get the buyers to step in and push it higher eventually. If the overall markets, again, hit some selling pressure, which they will, we are probably entering a recession. But does that mean everything sells off? I don't think so. Not when you're in an energy crisis. Not when you have the housing market being resilient. I think money's going to rotate over. So that's my stance on it. We've got Uranium moving sideways on support with that hammer candlestick pattern. We've got CCJ moving sideways. This thing's kind of popped up a little bit, so looking a little bit better. Bannerman, small down day, but mainly moving sideways. Goviax moving sideways, a little bit of a stronger selling pressure day. Just extending that out. Global Atomic trying to find some support. That's good. We didn't have a blowout down day today, and we're at this resistance line going down. It's a steep resistance line, and usually the steeper ones aren't as important. You want to get the non-steep ones are much more critical and stronger. Thesis, metals just moving sideways today, up a little bit. Pure Point, again, we're just moving sideways for a lot of these. I mean, minus 6% is a sideways day in uranium, apparently, but lots of volatility before it. Deep Yellow moving sideways. We've got Paladin, still looking fine. I do see a little bit. I do see a little bit of a. We'll see if it squeezes up a little bit. It's a weak pattern. Forget that. It's a weak pattern. And what I'm looking for is a squeezing up pattern where the stock comes up, it squeezes up, and then just kind of falls down, and then maybe afterwards we go, why do I keep drawing these things upward? I have an upward bias. Why? Because I think that the fundamentals of commodities, the liquidity into the system, the increasing interest rate environment is good for commodities. That's what I think. So I'm looking at this from the paradigm that this is going to eventually work its way higher. There's Sky Harbor there, sideways kind of pattern. Now it entered from the down, and we'll see if this breaks lower for Canalaska. Next Gen Energy just moving sideways. I don't see any. I mean, it looks good. And again, guys, like day-to-day movements, I don't really play it. Like if I were to look at the thing here, what we're seeing is, you want to kind of break this downtrend there. And on the short term, you've broken that downtrend there. You break it, you create a higher low, and then you create a higher high. That is a new uptrend on this very short-term downtrend movement. But as you back out, you get larger and larger trends. So if you take this top here, you come down, we've broken that. You can come down maybe in this general vicinity, but we've broken this downtrend line, and we're just moving sideways. So that's the downtrend line here. That's this downtrend line that we were looking at, was this one. And we're just moving sideways. So we're just consolidating a little bit. Hopefully we move on higher soon. These all out of there real quick. Base load moving up a little bit today. It's just bouncing sideways. Vision 3.0 still looking good, just moving sideways. I still think that's going to go higher. We got the small down days. We don't see the sellers coming in here just blowing this to the downside. Doesn't mean it's still not subject to it, but it's good to see that they're not just blowing this to the downside. There's buyers there. We're trying to find that equilibrium between the buyers and sellers. Small down day and Kazakhstan Prom still looks good. Peninsula Energy, this pattern still looks good to me with the small down days and the larger up movement. Boss Energy right at support. We've got Consolidated Uranium right at support above it, just cycling sideways. Lotus Resources cycling sideways, and you're just kind of seeing if it's going to create some sort of pattern that squeezes up and then goes. UROY looking good. Looks like we're breaking the downtrend line to the upside, looking a little better. ENCUF moving sideways. Do we still have more downside left in this? I don't know. Let's throw if I take this here, we're at the 0.5 area. We could go down to 0.618 at 72 cents if it decides to go down there. That's kind of the area there. UUUU moving sideways right underneath the resistance area, or I should say resistance trend line. URG moving sideways, consolidating. UEC sideways, consolidating under a support level, resistance level. LEU again above support, still looking good, just moving sideways. Lightbridge moving sideways above support. Hopefully it holds. ISO Energy right in the corner of all these resistance support lines. Appia Energy getting a small up day right at support. Or I should say right at resistance. Denison Mines moving sideways. Blue Sky Uranium moving basically sideways. Forum Energy Metals, this one looks good. Small down days, larger up days. A little up day there, so we'll see if the buyers step in and push it above the resistance line. AEC, a little bit of a small down day. Tough to read there with low volume. Laramide moving sideways. Western Uranium. These are just all moving sideways, guys. They're all moving sideways, kind of trying to consolidate. See, they're just bouncing back and forth. Standard Uranium looks like a lot more selling pressure today. A lot more selling pressure. That doesn't look too good. ALXEF, sideways. This is Valor Metals, still above support. We'll see what happens there. EL8 right at support, moving sideways. Looking good, though. This looks good. Looks like it's getting some buying pressure. And sideways for 92 Energy. And guys, like what I look for, I'm just looking at the candlesticks and seeing if we have large candlesticks or small candlesticks, and depending if they're up days or down days. We don't want to see blowout big candlesticks going down. It means there's a lot of selling pressure and not much buying pressure. It means that the sellers are in control and they're just blowing it to the downside. So what I'm looking for is the balance between the buyers and sellers in the size of the candlesticks and what the candlesticks look like. The candlesticks are daily, at least if you're looking at it from a certain time frame. They can be daily, weekly, or monthly. They all say the same picture. So if I were to go to like CCJ and just look at kind of like a long term, this is the daily candlesticks. And what I look for in these is I'm looking for, like, when you see this and you get these three little up days, the momentum's still to the downside. So you come all the way down. We still have this big momentum downward move. I'm looking to see how much buying pressure we have coming back up. We could roll over here and do something like that. But the short-term movements, I don't know. I'm not as worried about them. I'm looking at the big picture. So if you go back to these are monthly candlesticks. Each candlestick is a month in duration. And when you look at this, I mean, we're coming up and we're just cycling basically between this megaphone pattern. Megaphone patterns are ones that are not very large in the beginning and they're fatter on the end. But we've got a huge buying, bought up after this month. It's been coming back up off that bottom. So, coming up off this bottom here, it's a megaphone pattern. So everything looks to be intact. We just got to wait. And we got to wait through the overall markets puking on themselves and deleveraging and money moving. Just takes time, guys. And you'll make a lot more money the more patient you are. If you become impatient and sell out, usually at inopportune times, because you're probably going to be down, you'll be frustrated. And then your emotions get the best of you, and then you sell out. Not me. I'm just waiting. And there's no time frame here, guys. Just like relax. It's already gone up a bunch. Like this here is like world-class returns, going from, you know, this break here at like $10 all the way up till $20. This is 100% in 1.5 years, or sorry, it's 2 years, 2.5 years, 2 years. 100% gain is actually a very good return. If you at this $20 mark, it's 23, it's over 100% gain, but that's really good. And your expectations, if you think it's just going to moon in 2 seconds, can be a little bit too aggressive. Everybody wants everything to moon all the time, and you just got to be patient, everyone. You just got to be patient. All right, we'll end it there. I've got the question and answer session for the website for the Platinum members tomorrow at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want to attend that, you got to be you got to be a Platinum member, and we are doing that at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll see everyone there who's on the website. Thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. This is Finding Value.